I think we could get a better word to rhyme with sook. But you know what I love about Sook doing that is that Sook just made herself incredibly memorable. I will never forget her name. Because the minute you align your name to humour, you're memorable. That Sook says pay a compliment. Well, that would be generous. Imagine every time that you connected with someone, you got a compliment. But what's more subtle? You know, yeah, eye contact, beautiful. So eye contact's very important. Eye contact's respectful. Yeah, come on, she said, I'm getting those chocolates. I love the fact this is the only audience I've ever had anyone stand up to receive their chocolates. It just goes to show that the tribe is unique, doesn't it? It is unique. All right, so I'm looking for something subtler. Eye contact is subtle. Teeth are listening. What? Shake hands. Yeah, shake hands is probably not going to have a chance to shake hands with them. Although I don't think it's a bad idea because touch is always powerful. Yeah. What did you say? Oh, nodding. Yes, you are brilliant, sir. What's your name? Dan. Dan the man. Dan, you are the man today. Thank you. So could I get you, please, to do those two things, that we're going to show teeth and nod? Everybody? Now, no, it's not the slow nod. That means something else. All we're going to do, as they're having an attempt, is we're going to smile and nod. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a baby, but when you're hanging over a baby in a pram, we all do this. I don't know at what age or stage we stop doing it to each other, but I know that it's a skill that we should continue to do gently, subtly, kindly. Just connect. All right? So we're going to practice. I want you to do as much as you can throughout the whole presentation. Because the more practice you get, how many times, how many repetitions to be able to lock in a habit, please? No, not 21. That was the old 63. 21 by 3, 63 times. That's how long it takes. It's a couple of months. It's not too long. Not when you're investing your life into it. So let me jump in the middle of you. You come along here. 1, 2, 3. Keep coming. Keep coming. Beautiful. Hi. Hi, all. Hi. Thank you for volunteering. Could you just give them a really big round of applause? Yay. Firstly, because we've got the people that were a little bit more reluctant than the first group. So we're excited that they're taking a risk. Out of 10, how big is this as a risk for you, out of 10?
Oh, close to 10.
Close to 10, okay. 7. Yep. 4? Okay, 4.
Safe place, 3.
3, good. 3?
5.
5. So it's good to get a measure. All right, glad you're standing right next to me. All right. Yeah. Is that what we're going to do is 4 steps, follow me and do as I do. I just stand back a touch so the people on the end can curve round and see me. The people on the end, you stay forward. So you come in close. That's it. And you come in close and then you can see. Everyone can see me? Okay. Clap on the legs. Clap together. Right hand on the nose. Left hand on the ear. Yeah, not this way. Across the body. Because this is a left and right brain challenge. So this engages both sides of the brain. Keep your hands there. Because you touch the centre of the body and across, and this engages the brain. In a moment, we're going to stimulate the brain, and we're going to reverse it. All right? So here we go again. Clap on the legs. Clap now. Left hand on all the way round on the ear. Everyone got it? Beautiful. No trying it in the audience. Don't you love the way to get ahead? Your job is just to smile and nod. Okay, we're going to try it, and we're going to do it. Start with the right hand on the nose, the left hand on the ear, and then we're going to reverse it. Okay, 6 times. Can I see you all? And go, here we go. Clap, clap, right hand nose, left hand ear. Clap, clap, left hand nose, right. Clap, clap, right hand nose, left hand ear. Clap, clap, left hand nose right. Clap, clap, right hand nose left. And clap, clap, left hand nose right. Give them a hand. Yay, yay. Great first attempt. Great first attempt. So they've done their job. They've actually demonstrated all different ways to do it. All right? People are creative. So your job, please push your chair back from the table. You may stay seated, but push back and make sure that the back of your chair is to the back of the knees. That's right. Everyone make sure I've got the knees facing me. Turn your chairs around. You don't need to be at the table. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? I suggest that my helpers continue to practice. Clap on the legs. Clap together. Right hand nose, left hand ear. Hold it. Now there's a reason why I'm getting your hand to go around the outside, because when we get fast, you can take yourself out, coming through underneath. So it's just a safety issue, sustainability. Here we go. That's right. Hold it to your ear. Now reverse it. Clap. Clap, left hand nose and right hand ear. Lovely, you're a very attractive audience. Now, are you ready? We're going to try 6 times. And which hand on the nose first? Right. Okay, here we go. And right hand nose, left hand ear, clap, right. Left hand nose, clap, left hand nose, right. 2 more, clap, clap, right hand nose, left, and clap, right. Yay, yay. Get better. Yeah. Of you could just got that whole thing right. Give me a big wave. Oh my goodness, this is a really clever audience. More than 2%. Now who's having just a little bit of trouble? Raise your left hand. Left hand, that can be the problem. Left hand. And now if you're having a lot of trouble, raise both hands. So yes, so note to self. When you have a group of intelligent, competent, capable human beings, and you teach them a new activity, you have the complete spectrum of responses. You have those who can get it perfect, and you can have those who get none of it, and you've got those who've got all parts of it in between. So what do we say to ourselves when we're learning something new? This is really my message for you as speakers. How do you talk to yourself when you can't quite do it? When you're in process? Yes, we say we're progressing, but sometimes we feel like we're going backwards. And we're talking to ourselves, but do we know how to coach ourselves in such a way that the brain really does listen to you? What's the key phrase you say to yourself when you're struggling? Quickly just tell each other, find a partner, just say, the key thing I say to myself when I'm really struggling is, what is it? Yes, say to each other.
Keep going. You can do this.
Yeah. Okay.
I am enough.
Yeah. Good, good, good.
Enough. Have a rest.
All right. Did anyone hear an interesting phrase? And I guess the question for me is it working for you? Because there's no point saying, oh, it sounds like this and it sounds great. The question is, does your heart hear it? Does your heart hear it? Does your heart buy it? And does your heart work with it? Because there are certain phrases that really work for your system and others that do not. And you have to start sorting through the words that are actually powerful for you and empowering for you. Because as I told you, when I'm talking to those young people, sometimes I'd be talking to a group of kids and they would be tying each other to the seats. Like I obviously wasn't captivating them. And I had to learn skills to be able to get back up and have another go. And to not give up and to not just go, oh my goodness, they are just not listening, I'm not getting through. That type of talk wasn't helping. But I did have to admit I wasn't getting through. What could I do differently? And I think I have to be asking that all the time. I came from a company of IT specialists yesterday, and I will go to a direct selling company tomorrow, and I constantly figure out what is it that I need to do today so that these people can learn easily and well. And there is very little similarity between yesterday's audience and tomorrow's. And I have come to grips with the fact that it's not one size fits all. And I'm got to adjust about it. Is it possible that we... So if we wanted to fast track our own growth, what would be some of the key things that we would do? Let me just get some chocolates. Oh, would you mind holding that, please? If you're worried that I'm running out, I am not. Who is grateful that I'm not running out? Yeah. All right, good. All right, so let's just find out maybe 6 things that we need to do. Yes, sir, with a hand up. Improve on your mindset. Beautiful. Coming your way. Let's see if we can catch. Beautiful. Yep.
Celebrate your mistakes.
Yeah, celebrate your mistakes. Beautiful. And you have trouble catching?
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Excellent. Yeah, enjoy. Make them joy in the journey. Yes. Yes, you're so practice. What's your name?
Karen.
Practice. Karen, I think that's not a bad idea. How about standing up and giving me a target? So I might put you in the light, Karen. Just stand here. Now stay there. Is that good? Can you ever all see Karen? Yeah. Or maybe Karen, maybe step up on the stage just there. Yeah, great. So Karen, I'm going to practice throwing. You're going to practice catching. Are you a good catch? Notice that self-talk? Not really, no. Now, if someone asked you, are you a good catch, what would you say? Of course I am. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. She's getting coaching. I saw you were coaching her for a strategy. So are you ready, Karen? Here we go. No, don't touch it. Don't get in the way of them. She's having enough trouble with that. Yeah. Karen, can I just suggest you put the chocolates down? On the ground, put them down. Now, her coach is effective. So can I just say, in the world of speaking, don't take advice from people more messed up than you are. No, Karen. No. We haven't finished yet. Karen, are you ready? Okay, here we go. She says you're too... Good job, Karen. Woo! Stay there. That was great. And what was best about that was that Karen didn't blink and going. She sort of rolled them a bit. But she was happy to have another go. This is speaking. You've got to get back up on the stage like Sham said. You're going to speak for free a lot. Why are you going to speak for free? Because you love helping people. When I set a goal to reach 1 million kids to pay me, I set out a goal to reach the kids because I wanted to. I didn't realise that I would be the one that would transform in the process. Learn how to become a good communicator. Intention was to change their world. And so as you persevered, the advice of the helpers on the stage, and just started to realise, I could watch it on her face, I can do this. I can do this. And that's what parts of your presentation you go, I can do this. There's other parts that, that's okay. There's parts of people think that that is practice. Once. Repetition is the mother of skill. You do it again and again and again. Other people practice like this. You ready? Here we go. You're just going to try and catch as many as you can with one go. Okay, here we go. Now, maybe this would have been good to use their strategy. 30 days, I'm going for it. I'm going to skills for it. And you want to be developing, might be somebody that is marketing a product that you are a magnificent promoter of your product and that you will get paid in other means. But most importantly is to realise, hey, repetition is the mother of skill. I think that Karen deserves all that chocolate on the ground. Will you give her a hand? Give her a hand now. Come on, scoop it up. So, practice is an important part of improving, but there's other things. What else is it? Yeah, come on, you tell me one. Yeah, feedback. We've got to get feedback. And can I just say, try and listen to people who give you feedback that acknowledges what you do well first. If they can't acknowledge what you do well, then they really haven't earned the right to give you a critique. So be very careful. Be very careful. If people don't notice what you do well in life, they probably are not going to give you feedback that's going to be most helpful. It's like kids. You don't give kids a full rundown on what they can't do well. You know, you just watch that little 2-year-old, they're still trying to walk. It's like, well, if you can't get it by now, just stay there. I mean, we don't do that, do we? We tell them everything they're doing well, and then we might give them a little bit of coaching. But we're careful. What else do we need to do to get to, yeah?
If you get overwhelmed, stop and take little baby steps.
Beautiful. If you get overwhelmed, stop and take little baby steps. I love that. I mean, it almost compels me to throw chocolate at you. Oh, you don't look away. Yes?
Self-love.
Self-love. Yes, absolutely. You know, I do love the fact that it says, love your neighbour as yourself. One of the major pieces of wisdom of the ages, and most people just do not understand that it's really hard to love other people and value them if you do not learn to value who you are. Mums do it a bit. Mums value their children heads down in front of them. So can I just talk to the parents? Get a little better at valuing yourself, because your kids realise that if you're valuable, they're valuable. So, yeah. Watch a video of yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, a good one. Watch a good one. You know, and sometimes you don't want to watch the video. Look, my husband who's in the room, Cole, you just give him a wave. That good looking man. I mean, the only reason I've spoken to 2 million people in 28 countries is my husband gets me there. Do you know, if I didn't have a team and a marketer and a businessman, it's very, very unlikely that I would be where I am today, because I have needed all the support that I could. Parents, my parents, we've needed help, we've needed nannies, we've needed ladies in the community that would cook for me. Sourced everything I could outsource except for my children and my husband. Because even I knew that relationships, and that you never outsource relationship. But everything else that somebody else can do, by all means, let people help you and be willing to help them. Now, I could be here for a while. I've got a small problem. I'm trying to get to one key thing that I'm trying to teach you. Something to fast track us. And I have the feeling that you have a lot of knowledge in the room, but we haven't quite quite made it to where I want to get. Does anyone know what's the fast track? Forgiveness. Who said that? Commitment, yes. Commitment's excellent. Coming your way. Beautiful. And what was yours? Yeah, sorry? Start before you're ready. I would love that. Belief. Yes, we need belief. Yeah, over here on this table. Reward. Who said reward? Yeah, all right. You want rewards. I see that. I mean, what are we going to say? Sorry? Reward yourself. Oh, look, this table just looks like they want chocolate. Just on that. Good. Now, the word I'm looking for starts with an F. Failure, beautiful. Who said failure? You know, I just love the fact that you said failure. I don't think I ever fail. It's just my view of life. You know, it's just my view. I just think I do it poorly before I do it well. Everyone say, I do it poorly before I do it well. Yeah, you do a lot of that when you're speaking. And someone over here did yell out focus. Yeah, he was with me only 2 weeks ago in a beautiful conference of 350 women. And do you know what? If you want to fast track your development, you must stop multitasking and focus in the area that has great need. So look, if you need to become a good storyteller, you need to put some focus in that area. If you need to have structure in your presentation, you need to probably get help. If you need to have confidence, then you need the focused time to say, I'm going to practice getting up in every situation. Because you know what? I went to a speaking meeting in the USA when I was 24 years of age. I was full of confidence and I was working for a promoter. I was people like Zig Ziglar, and I had remarkable contacts. But when I stood up in front of 1,000 people to ask a question, I burst into tears. I was so afraid to speak in front of the group. So I know what it's like to just freeze up and to feel like nothing comes. And I've got to tell you that even at this stage in my career, I've been speaking for 33 years. Yeah, it's a miracle. But there are moments when it just all disappears. And I have stood up with the microphone in my hand and there has been nothing. And one of the greatest gifts I have learned is to stop, breathe, and let the words come. What I know. I only give what I've got. And sometimes when you just have those moments, just take a few deep breaths and I smile at people and wait. I know it will come. Have you ever known how long 10 seconds feels? But it's a really important part of speaking, is to be able to stop and just, because sometimes people just need the space as well. And you've got to be able to provide it for them. So we've actually got the key to our success. This lovely lady has yelled out focus. So we've got to redo the activity again with focus. Now, just a little measure. You've been standing here a while now. Does it feel pretty easy? Comfortable? How are you going?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is it? Yeah, you're still here. I love that. Give her chocolate. Give her chocolate. Yeah. She's still here. And this is the key, isn't it? Sometimes you just got to turn up, show up, and keep turning up. Keep taking your stand. Keep being in that space. So we're going to redo the activity with focus, but where are we going to focus? 3 or 4? Oh, good. And another good reason to do 3, people can say that. People can. You did this. When we know what it is new, you just got to coach it along. So we got a great idea. Did you get me a jam? The problem. Okay, so now just what the pose. Clinch, clap, clap, nose. Clap, 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 nose. Clap, clap, nose. Oh, here we go. Look at we're rocking it. Well, we will rock you. Whoa. If you think you're ready, you can add your rock. How that's supposed. Give it a nose. Come on. What happened? Just a little bit. Like 70 to 80% of the room got better. Miss, some of you got worse. Not enough. It could that you had a pattern. So this is another reason is not find how to develop those gifts. When I'm and have a physiologist help a few told what to do. Tweaking. It's just in the way we do it, isn't it? So this is what I'm saying about patterns. Make sure that you appreciate how other people do life before you add your bit of advice. Appreciate what they bring in their presentation before you add your bit. Because like Sam and I, you know, we're both on the international speaking, no such thing, speak all over the world, but different styles. And anybody else that's on Shamila's books, we're completely unique. And the biggest thing that will stop will be when you realize. Because I now go, no, it won't. I've spoken to 2 million people and they know it's mine. And this is the challenge because when I was young, I thought if I would just use some material of some, because the Americans were a long way away, use and their things as good as them. And that was my greatest stumbling block to being unique. As well as own unique. That you watch me developed over to I never to have your... Is this correct? I think these people have been amazing. Amazing. I'm reading books. But the only problem is I've written 10 books. 3 complete duds. I want you to know this because you are in my business. Imagine if I had stopped writing because 3 of them didn't work. I want to encourage you. Sometimes you write something, you think it's your baby, and it just doesn't meet the mark. That's okay. Try again. I write books for very busy people. This is one of my novelty books, and it works like this. It's called The Mood Maker. If you need inspiration, you pick a red page, and if you need to calm down, you pick a blue page. If you need to think clearly, you pick a white page, and if you've lost your sense of humour, you pick a green page. This one says, I drink to make other people more interesting. That's probably why I don't need to drink. I think people are very interesting, but I find that people do all types of things to try and make themselves fit in. So would you like one of these? Would you like a book? And this one is the sequel. It's called The Life Lifter, 5 different categories. Which one would you like? Oh, she's going for the blue one. Hold on. I'll give everyone the same choice. What would you like? She's going for the blue one. What would you like? Oh, she's going for the yellow one. What would you like? Going for the blue one. Now, just while I've got blokes on the stage, I just want to give you the third option. It's called Keeping Couples Cooking. Nothing to do with the kitchen. You know, because I work in a very heavy-duty corporate world and I hate to miss an opportunity to give a bloke a book on relationships. What would you like, sir?
Do you want to go first?
Look at the guys there. Oh, you take it. Oh, thank you for the choice. You don't think you need it? Probably do then. How many of us aren't always self-aware? That's why I've got my husband, of course, self-aware. After every presentation, like he's typing up there right now, taking a list of so that if ever I come back to speak for a client, we know exactly what we've done, we know exactly what building block we're doing. He also gives me little markers on all the areas where I could improve. And sometimes I don't want to know. And when would that be? That would be, you know when it would be? When you come off and you feel like didn't quite hit the mark and you're already beating yourself up, and the last thing you want to know is what he thinks. And you know, this has been a really important aspect of my husband's coaching to me. My husband is an engineer by background. Very left brain, and a lot of my audience I'm reaching you, and a little more left brain, and as he coaches me, he's always making me aware of ways to reach different types of, but his heart is, so sometimes I ask for the advice just 2 weeks later. Calm down. down and get perspective, and back we go to the drawing board. Before you leave, you've been so good and you've stood here so long. This one's called How to Motivate, Manage and Market Yourself. And I wrote this with two other speakers when I was in my early 30s. And this book has gone all around the world. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked at the longevity of some books. And I'm just wondering if you wouldn't like, something for business, or maybe something like this, Marriage Rules, how to go from warm to hot and hot to sizzling. And so I'm just going to give you a choice. Would you like something else to take with you? If you know what you'd like. Yes, you know what you'd like? You would like that one, or would you like one of the others? There's two up, there's two more here. There's also, wait a minute, there's practical parenting, how to get your kids to obey you the first time you ask them to do something. Come on, who needs this? Yes, well, my husband... my husband will... Would you have a few at the back? Have a little look, so people can have a little look at later if you want to have a look at some of these. But this is practical parenting, or this one, which has probably changed the lives of more children, is called I'm a Walking, Talking Miracle, and it is teaching children in primary school positive self-talk and how to overcome problems. So this has been one of my life missions. So have we got something that we'd like to look? Yeah, go on. Yeah, yes. Did you want to? How are you looking there? Would you like 2 hours of me on how to build a better life? Da, 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 da. Give him a hand. Go, give him a hand. Go on. Give him a hand. Take your chockies. Come on, everybody better stand up. Come on, stand up. Now, something has just been demonstrated. And I want you to just bend your knees to 45 degrees. So, like this. Now, don't stick your bottom out. Put your bottom back underneath your shoulders so you're nice and straight. And push your knees over your toes like you're a skier. That's it, beautiful. And if you just hold that position using your quadriceps. So this pumps more blood to the brain than any other muscle group. This is a brilliant position for conferences. And you know why, don't you? You cannot fall asleep in this position. It's a physical impossibility. But because we are people that are trying to grow and grow the people around us and beyond pain. And what's this called? Agony. Come back 10%. This is pain. Go back down 10%. Now, just hold this for 2 minutes while I talk to you. All right, that's agony. Come back up. Now, this is what we used to complain about. Just shake your legs out. Shake your legs out. Give me a good shake. Shake your hands out. Now, sometimes you come off the stage and this is the first thing you need to do is just shake it off. I have been doing this long before Taylor Swift. If things don't go the way you want them to go, you just sometimes have to shake it off. You know, sometimes I have a conversation with my kids and I have to walk away and shake it off. Yeah, my husband and I do a bit of shaking. It's an extra little physiological thing. It helps you get rid of stuff. So if you've got a bit of stuff, a bit of self-lip speaking, I want you to just do a really big shake. Go. That's it. That's it. Because, you know, Shamila said it's never never been an easier time to be a speaker. But I want to also add this. It's never it has never been easy. It never will be easy. Because we have got to become the person whose heart is fixed on the audience and not on us. Because while we are worried about what people think of us, say about us, how they respond to us, our focus is always going to be in the wrong place. The focus must go to the audience and not to you. Take a seat. I'm going to explain how I learned this. Left eye permanently closed. Plastic from age 2 to age. All they were trying to do was to literally stitch my eye open. They said if they don't let the light in, then I will go blind. So by the time I got to school at age 5, my eye had been stitched half open. Now, I discovered this about school children. They're very creative when it comes to name calling. Anyone know that? So I would have got 100 very cruel names, but the two that I heard nearly every single day were, Lisa, you are so ugly, and you look dumb. And I was 5. And I can still remember running home to my mother, throwing myself into my mother's arms and just saying, Mum, it's not fair. It's not fair. My beautiful mother is the 13th child raised by her grandmother. She knows all about life not being fair. She just grabbed my little face, pulled me in really close, looked deep into my eyes and said, sweetheart, life's not fair. I said, is that it? She said, no. Like it, don't you do it. Well, I stood up and I said, that's not fair. She said, correct. You've got the lesson, good. What I loved about my mum, my mum said, no, sweetheart, you can't change the world. But she said you could make it a little fairer for the girl sitting next to you and the little one behind you. She said, how about we spend the next 30 days figuring life. My mother never let me be a victim. She never let me play the victim. She never let me pretend I was the victim. My mother said, in your hand. I said, oh, you shake hands. I said, yes, Mum. She just constantly made me focus on what I did have and not what I didn't have. And you know what? As a speaker, there might be 10 things that you do really well and 10,000 things that you do poorly. And this is going to be the challenge and the gift of your... There's 10 things I do well, and fortunately I have a husband who does the 10,000. You know, you should be so lucky to have someone like him. But this is life, is partnering with people, working with people, it's why you're in a tribe, because you know what, each of you have something unique, and you are trying to nurture and keep the focus, but learn the skills in the other area. They don't sink the business. So we're just trying to focus on where you're strong, but understand where you need to grow. So my beautiful mum ends this little conversation. I know the kids say you're dumb and ugly, but your father and I, we think you're really, really smart. Pretty would have been better. I mean, smart wasn't bad. So I went to school, and the kids would go say I'm dumb and ugly, and I would stand there and quietly say to myself, smart. So, but I did it hundreds and hundreds of times. I kept reminding myself, but I'm smart. And I needed the credit of my mother's statement because my mum thinks so. Because in reality, I wasn't smart at all. You know, it's one of those kids that just coloured it in the borders of the pages, not a clue what to write in the centre. Anyone got one of those? Yeah, you understand. So the reality and the belief you are going to have to believe that you have a gift to bring before others affirm it. You are going to have to believe that. And I think part of the job of the tribe is part of what I do for my customers, is I lend them my belief until they can get some for themselves. You know, we've got to lend, when you're strong, you lend your belief. And that allows each one of us to grow. So here I was, I'm doing school, I'm telling myself that I'm smart, and I actually did become to get smart at a place. Yeah, no, there's one key thing that really fast tracks. You get smart quickly if you do this. Homework, yeah. You get smarter if you ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more you learn. So I was one of those kids. I started to drive and you know, by the time I got to year 12, I was at a girls' Catholic school, 13 smart girls, in with 186 year 12 boys. I get this picture. 13 girls from a girls' school held me halfway through the school and good. I was wanted to be lovely. And I felt like they just stabbed a knife into me and said, "What you are," to them. Great. You know, I'm studying, having the time of my life, but related myself, and I the social girls sometimes do advertise. So that's me. I'm sitting in the corner of the room, and I did what single girls sometimes do. I just picked out the cutest looking guy in the room, and wherever he went, I just followed him with my eyes. And if he'd look at me, I'd look away. And him again and follow him around the room. If he'd look at me, I'd look away. 2.5 hours of light entertainment. At the end of the night, I went out and said, "Hello, I just wanted to introduce myself to you. I've noticed that you've been winking at me all night." And I thought I had a built-in asset. Years to discover that. For 17 years, I let the kids laugh at me. I have been able to invite people to laugh with me. Because you see, when I can accept me the way I come, I make it really easy for you. Acceptance grows when you become self-accepting and not self-criticizing. Self-coaching, yes, but self-criticizing, no. Constantly finding ways to encourage yourself to just use your gifts and bring out your talents. So my life did take a significant turn when I could laugh at myself. Many of you need to laugh at yourself. Okay, because this is a challenge for speakers. We take ourselves so seriously off the stage and we're looking for people's affirmation. My heart's me. I don't want to hear what tell you how I feel or you. It's received great training. Because the words I'm speaking over myself are building me the next presentation or sucking my confidence out of it. I'm always going to be a woman in process. I have great days and not great days. And I'm hoping that I get better in the next 10 years than I have ever been. I aspire for growth. I'm learning technology skills like just produced, I think, online totally refuel quickly. And I have done reason, just like Michelle Vest in the young. I want to be able to deposit and leave my generation to breaths. And again. No need, and you won't be able to give to others what they need. Part of me, what I need is a table that helps, and I would like to give it to you for 12. Fill out the card and put your details. Giving me lovely beans for them, and more. We're paying free money. Please, somebody on what we do. Think as Kate said. Come on, have a to join them. What look at why don't see you have to arrive after well, you have maybe someone who would like to share a story. Fantastic. To finish with one, I had an aspiration to reach, and when I reached that family, I went to the wild personal predicament. I just helped to do it was words about say what you know, gentlemen, wherever throw out the truth will boomerang back. Throw out encourage that's in your people encouragement. Like you have what it takes. Just focus and do the things that are going to throw it out, it comes back at you. Respect. Stop commanding people and just request. Do it in your families. Please, thank you, may I. Every time you show expect you throw it out and it boomerangs back. Well, I'm doing this start to chant, throw it, throw it, throw it. It was right there in the front row, in front of me, and his face. I thought, don't look at me like that, you know. Boomerang. By standing, throw that thing up my top. Press every me. Every quarter. It's really this. Let me tell you, I tried to figure out why I threw it. I knew nor the equipment. I was a liability. And I still threw it. What made me throw it? I realised what the problem was. Irresponsible. Responsible. Whether you do care, whether you really contribute, you care of what we have. Stand up so that the not follow.
Were just earlier very helpful.
Thank you, Charlotte. The bunch that I've been in today, a lot of us have shared some really traumatic events in our life, possibly for the first time publicly. So that's just been a really huge thing. So thank you for everyone for opening up and for people to open up and be authentic.
I'd like to firstly acknowledge you, Sam. Thank you so much for instituting the Speakers Institute and all of the lovely people who've attended today. I think they've done an absolutely wonderful job. I think all of their stories are worthy of stage presence. I think you'll all go very far.
I just wanted to say, being out of the workforce for 6 years, looking after little kids, and this is the first course I've ever done, and it was astounding. It blew my mind, and it was beyond my expectations. And thank you, Kate, for the feedback today. That was brilliant, and it's given me the confidence to back myself, because I didn't have that before. Because, you know, when you leave for a while and you come back, it's all a bit dodgy. So thank you.
And it was really an experience with that push, the last push which is needed, because I'm very low on execution. So your story and your message gave me that push which I really needed. So thank you very much. And also to the fellow participant for bearing with me.
Thank you, everyone. You've all inspired me today, and I want to thank you, Sam, for putting this on, and Christian and Charlene. Charlene inspired me to come through the conversations we had, and so I'd like to thank her in particular, and got a lot out of them. And thanks for all the lovely comments.
My name is Sarah Cordner, and a long time ago I was one of the proteges. Now back then I had absolutely no idea where I was going to go. I was an expert in my field, but I was working very much in the corporate space. I also had no followers on any social media accounts. I had no email list. I had no people anywhere there in the public market. But I knew that I needed and wanted to get out, get online friends to the world, and I need to do that is to go out and start speaking, putting myself out there as an individual. And it was really confronting, because there's all these kind of things that we go through. Will people like me? Will people engage with me? Will anyone even care about what I have to say? Will people mock me? Will people criticize me? Will I be torn down by my competitors or trolls? so I had all of these worries, like everyone else does, not knowing where I was going to start. You know, do I cite the message, the theme, the branding, the story? It's all very, very overwhelming. So I want to reassure you guys that I was absolutely there. After going on Sam's program, I have gone on to win multiple awards. I have now got over 20,000 students in 146 countries. I have been listed by the Huffington Post as one of the female entrepreneurs. I've published 12 books, 5 of which have gone to international #1 bestseller. I recently was headhunted by a university called being the youngest university director in Australia. I have done all of this from working in the spare bedroom in my home to other people who can do this. Every single person. I had no special starting point. I had no investors. I've never had anyone give me money. I absolutely have just started on the corner of a kitchen table with nothing but a dream, a drive, and an ambition, and that is the only thing you need to get started.
CEO and founder of Speakers Institute. If you give me 60 seconds of your time, I'll show you how to set up an online course while growing your authentic followers to tens of thousands, and then teach you your program, influence, talk to you, and then stack your offerings and create that makes it so irresistible that they click the button and purchase your high ticket sale. Talk with any of our clients globally, and I promise you will not find anyone that does what we do. All you have to do is to create an online event, share your ideas, and then stack your offerings online already. People probably don't know as much as you. So right now is master. Just roll, and at the end, how to inkit it by click on the link below and join my.
Has any one of you ever been in a boardroom full of men? You change person in front of an audience of men. My career. Learn to be this personality in millennial men with shoulder to shoulder. I years 19. This is for Nash to go. Believe.
This is Authority Show. Please welcome your host, Sam Cawthorne.
So hello and welcome to another amazing show here. I'm super pumped and excited about having our special guest here today. His name is Dan Searle. Dan is actually from South Australia in Adelaide. And Dan, you've got a really phenomenal story. And not only that, you've been through a huge transition in your... A little bit more about who...
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, like I said, I'm Dan. I'm an expert in transition. I have been transitioning in my last 10 years of my life, especially in the last 2 years. The transition from being a worker in the flying flag industry in Australia, from moving from that, a new career, a new path, as being a professional speaker and an expert in my field.
Yeah, hey, give me a little bit more of an idea. Fly in, fly out. What exactly is that?
Yeah, fly out is basically an industry where you fly in and out of all over Australia and international as well.
So this is like the mining industry?
Yeah, mining, oil and gas type industry, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what exactly were you doing out there in these?
What I was doing is I was constructing on site some big projects. So the last one, which is a Barrow Island off the coast of WA, which is a little island. You know, you can't really see on the map. It's that small. That's how remote these things.
And so this island isn't a resort island. It's not where there's lots of resorts and lots of nice beaches and lots of nice. No?
I wish.
Okay.
This place, you couldn't even go on the beach in certain times. You couldn't go in the water at all.
Well, why not?
Because it was a nature reserve. So basically, there was no access to the beach during turtle season, which was November to March.
Yeah, right.
You couldn't go on the beach at all. So basically, you were confined to this, basically a prison, because that's what the design of the camp actually was made up on a prison. So the design was basically had a moat around it as well, as stopping other animals and stuff getting into the camp. Yeah.
It does sound a little bit like a prison. Hey, tell me, so what? Yeah, you're sleeping in bunk beds. Did you actually get a nice room? Give us more of an idea of what this was like, and also how long were you out there at a time? Was it 3-4 days at a time, or was it a couple of weeks? Like, give us more of an idea of what fly in, fly out is, and what type of, how many hours were you doing each day?
Yeah, bunk beds were what we had. There was a bunk, top bunk, bottom bunk. Being that I was a day shift, I would be on the bottom bunk. I should be on the top bunk. But basically, yeah, it was just a room with a bed. There was a desk there to do a bit of study, whatever on. There was a cupboard for our clothing and a little bathroom. That was sort of our home, and that was 26 days straight. Every day. You wouldn't have a day
and that's
off.
10-hour work days?
Yes, yeah. That's days,
7 days a week?
7 days a week. No
7
day
days a week for 26 days in a row.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do this? Like, why would anyone want to do this? It sounds like prison.
Yeah, it literally was a prison, and that's where I was trapped. That's why I
pretty good money, yeah.
Oh, the money is really, really great. It is really impressive, the money we get, but
is it worth it?
Exactly, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I thought it was, because I was in the mentality that life is about money, and about money can buy you happiness, but it doesn't always do that.
How do you always do that? Because most people are under the impression that, if I get lots of money, then I'm going to be happy. Yeah. Isn't that right?
That's the idea. Yes, that money actually is designed to give us happiness, but it doesn't. It didn't for me anyway. I personally wasn't fulfilled with all the money. I'd go out and I bought a flashy ute. That was my car and my WRX. I just love those cars.
Bit of a need for speed,
Need for speed. I love driving fast. I love my fast cars. But I wasn't fulfilled because I was missing out on life at home. I was missing out on birthday parties. Missing out on all the holidays. Missing out on all of the things that everyone in life takes for granted.
What truly matters. It's interesting, hey, trying to have that balance between earning lots of, so having a life with your loved ones. You navigate that. And how do you do it now? Like now you don't work at all and you just spend time there? Or like, how did you get yourself out of that rat race of earning all this money, now not earning it, or are you?
I money, yeah, but a lot of things triggered it for me. One of them was my partner. She said to me, she struggled with me being away all the time. Being from New Zealand herself, she couldn't actually talk to me all the time when she wanted to. She'd be going through bouts of depression up and down, being that she wasn't at home with her family.
That would have been tough, mate.
That was tough for her.
For any guy to go through that and knowing that your loved one, your best friend, your future wife,
yes,
is there at home and she's suffering and you're not there with her. That's tough.
It is. Not only for me, but for her as well. Everyone there was lonely. She was a big inspiration for me, a big turning point for me. And there's also one time I remember that my dad actually messaged me on Facebook chat one day, and he asked when he coming home. And to me, that made me realize that there was not just me being affected by what I was doing, it's my family and my friends as well.
All right, Dan, that's really powerful. So you say that you're a transition expert, and so does that then mean that how did you transition? And for the people out there that really want to transition in their life, you know, we all want to transition. You know, sometimes we are stuck, right? And we need to get out of that. How do we do that? And how did you do that?
That's a great question, Sam. Basically, what I did is I found myself a network at that place I was at working that actually were interested in furthering their life and furthering their careers. So we basically grouped together, and we all got us investing and looking at other ways to use our money wisely, because there's a problem in fly in, fly out that everyone in fly in, fly out thinks of the money, and they just go on below it. They go and buy all these things, and that's what I did for 5 years. I wasted money for 5 years.
And then you transitioned.
And I transitioned. I went to a seminar. Seminar got me thinking about a lot of things. It really.
Would you suggest other people to go to seminars to help them suggest for other people that if they want to go from where they are today to where they want to be, go out and get some help, get a coach, go to a personal development, go to Tony Robbins? What would you recommend?
That's helped me. I would suggest anyone who might be struggling in life, personal development in yourself is never a bad thing. That spending money on you, on yourself, on your mind,
right,
on your body, all that stuff is never a bad investment.
If you have 3 things to help anyone out there to transition in their life, what would that be? What is it? Go to a seminar and allow yourself to be coached. Get unstuck. Like, what are 3 things that really help you? That can really help anyone at all out there to transition to where they really want to be. Give us an idea.
I think the biggest thing is actually to have this conversation with yourself. That am I really happy with where I'm going right now? Am I fulfilled? Is
Get
what
serious
is,
about yourself, yeah.
Make a decision with yourself. Am I really enjoying and living the life that I really want to live?
Right.
Because a lot of people out there, they just go through the motions. And they get out of bed in the morning and look at their alarm clock and they think, oh no, time to go to work again.
Great. So then you've made that decision. I don't think.
Next thing is look around, try and look within and see actually what values you have. See, for me, my freedom.
Yeah.
That was the big thing for me.
Right.
So that's where I decided to look for something that would give me the flexibility to actually spend time with family, friends, and do what I love doing. It's just travel. I love travel.
Awesome.
I love it.
And then the third thing is that now, so what's the last?
The last thing is actually comfort zone.
Great.
Out in for however many years, you get out, open yourself up to learning new things, to really change.
So there we heard it. A huge transition in there. They were to where they are. Snapshot. What do you do now, Dan?
Right now, I invest in the stock market, so sort of a short-term, day-term. Develop property as well. I always loved property.
Wow.
The next level to actually investing and
Wow.
building houses.
That's fantastic.
Feeling anything than just
amazing. That is just. Yeah, well, what do you love? Like, what's your third? Basically means outside of work, tank, and your
third space. I love meditation. Now, the minute sort of relax, joy, shut off, be who. I love that. And golfer,
what's
playing.
Dan, hey Dan, thank you so much for the Authority Show. But before you think at the end of it, which is called 10 questions in 60. Do you accept? All right, Dan. Great, fantastic. So just the first thing that comes into your mind, Dan, you're now. Favorite thing? Vegan. Yeah, he's got vegan belt, vegan beard, or great. The time is already.
Jason's.
Yeah, he's the man.
Or us bald men proud.
Yeah. Favorite actor?
Him.
Or
Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. National speak. Thank you. Talk is awesome. Favorite movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. The movie.
The teddy bear one. Favorite?
Melbourne.
Yes. Sorry,
love,
I think it's Sydney.
Love
drink?
Coffee.
Almond milk coffee. Favorite?
Anything with that cheese now. Yes.
Very good. Okay, and if you could be an animal, would you be?
Cheetah.
Cheetah. What?
How fast?
So the most is in Australian at still taking gold in paracycling people age. Anyone can over self-doubt their inner goal. We'll have which dream too can find. Ladies and gentlemen, age Carol.
How many have ever that? But you just think we're having technical. Lasted time. My country full of sport. I'm in my country won at the London and thank you. Medals at the A was miracle. Miracles. And as a day, here, why aren't you stoned your head off? And I said that I'd and it started. The first thing that I realized was that you have to dig deep and you have to know what your inner goal is. At 9, I tried out for an elite gymnastics club. And while my best friend was being offered a position, I was told I was too fat for gymnastics. So with my dream in tatters, I went home in tears. But I have an amazing mum who taught me to think outside the square. When she taught me that if I wanted to go to the Olympics, why didn't I just try another sport? I was very lucky that I had parents who made me believe in the power of me and that I could accomplish anything. And so I did try another sport. And my next goal, my ultimate goal, was to go to the 1980 Olympic Games as a swimmer for Canada. Tragedy struck again when Canada boycotted those games. Now our lives revolve around fear, adversity, and change. Some of it in my life has been fantastic. My move to Australia to marry my husband took in all of those 3 things. Some of it has not been so fantastic. 20 years ago, I had some unusual symptoms, and I had lost my ability to balance. I would sleep for 8 hours and still wake up extremely tired and unable to get out of bed. And then my eyesight started to go. And I'd seen a neurologist for a whole bunch of tests. And a couple weeks later, as I was heading back to see him for the results, I felt like a real fraud because all my symptoms were gone. And as I walked into his office, he was in a hurry. And he ushered me in and sat me in a chair. And he pulled out a big film out of an envelope. It was my MRI. And he held it to the ceiling. And he said, "Oh, you've got multiple sclerosis, too many lesions on your brain for someone your age. So I'd suggest you go home and put your affairs in order before you become incapacitated." I just sat there looking at him. I said one word that day: "What?" "Oh, you heard me. You've got MS, so you're never going to do this silly sports stuff again. And I don't have time for you as a doctor. I've got enough people with MS, so go back to your GP." With that, he put the film back in the envelope, walked to the door, and said, "Hurry up, I've got people waiting." As I stood up and walked towards him, he slammed that envelope into my chest. And as I walked out the door, he said, "See my secretary on the way out." That was the longest hallway in my life that day. As I walked down that hallway to go out the door, I walked straight past the secretary's office and out the door. To this day, 20 years, I don't remember driving home. Now, had I not been born pig-headed and stubborn, that could have very well been the last day of my life. It took me a good year to come to terms with having this disease, but I decided he was right. My life as I knew it was over. He was thinking in a negative way, and I was thinking of it in a positive way. So I'm sure that many of you in this room have also had adversity, trying to find your inner gold, trying to reach those goals. So my next step for you is set specific goals, specific targets with stepping stones along the way. And this starts with a quote that I live years, and believe in yourself, and you can accomplish anything. Sometimes as adults, we're so scared to try new things. We think we're going to look silly, we're going to be stupid at it, we're going to be terrible, and that fear of failure sets in. So how do we get past that fear of failure? You need the experts to help you. Mentors and coaches. I certainly haven't reached the pinnacle of sport by doing it on my own. I've put a whole team around me. Those medals are theirs just as much as mine. And then I decided, well, if I'm going to go to the Paralympics, I have to Cesar. So you, no matter to understand your weaknesses and how to work on them, which comes from your mentors and coaches, but then you have to understand how to use them. Never forget, as much as we want to work on our weaknesses. But as you hit those goals, things might not happen the way you want them to, and you need to make changes. If you don't make changes, then if you aren't progressing, then you're not making the right changes. Be bold. Look outside that square. Find those changes that you can make. And when you're trying to get to those last couple of steps, that's when it gets really, that's when on those little 1% things, those things that are going to give you an edge to get there, those things that my mom taught me all those years ago to think outside the square. How am I going to do this differently? And what can I accomplish from doing this? And the very, very last step, which is the most important, is never, ever focus on the negative. Even if you have a failure, it's important to find a way out of that failure and build on that with those changes, with those mentors, with those steps that you've put into place. Now, none of my life would have happened the last 20 years if I hadn't been diagnosed with MS. And that was a really bad, fearful change in my life, which actually turned out pretty damn good. And I wouldn't change one iota. I would not go back and say I don't want to be diagnosed with this, because it has made me who I am today and give me a whole other outlook on life. And you know, the doctor was right. My life as I knew it was over. But I'm so glad that it was. Now, you know, it's funny, that calmness and that acceptance of the loss of my medals was rewarded. Weeks later, they were found in a duffel bag with a sawn-off shotgun, a bag of meth, and $30,000 in cash, of which I tried to say was mine. And a very, very scary mask. So there are scary people out there. But they were rewarded when they came back to me. So I hope today that I've inspired you within your heart to figure out what your own inner goal is. And in the next few days, I'd like you to wake up and before you get out of bed, say to yourself, what would I attempt to do today if I knew I couldn't fail? Then go out and try it. Enjoy the challenge. Love the outcome or back. Oh, thank you.
This just read out here. So guys, any fee which are you more product program or are you paid to speak on stage? So you really do need to just want to be a key. You want that fee as such. If it is to the $7 fee or maybe VIP might be a couple of $100, going to be a free event because obviously. However, if you are a professional speaker, you get paid. So obviously then towards you are but you really do need to decide, because in most cases when you make a deal to then stick to, they really want to have the marketplace, look, you're putting on so you're asking for a fee. Which focus point and what is your marketplace? Do you want to go in as a professional? Is structure. We want to specifically look, you place yourself right now. Structure, entry, professional, corporate, you really then to look at what's in it for you, and then you need to look at 3 things, particularly for those people that are actually either going to look at not charging a fee. Make sure there is actually obviously something in it for you. What is the WIFM for you, and what are the 3 areas here, specifically if you're not charging a fee. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So if you're not charging a fee, then you're either a public speaker or you are starting out as a professional speaker and you want to build some collateral, which means you want to get some footage of you on stage, or you want to bring your 10,000 hours up when you are on stage so you can actually practice a keynote, or alternatively you have a product or services that you want to sell or whatever it might be. So these are 3 things. If you're not going to charge a fee, these are 3 things that you can still get something out of it, yeah? So the first one is this: get a list of everyone in the room. Get a list of everyone in the room. And one of the main reasons is when you get the list, then you can then send them ongoing valuable content. And the reality is this: if you send ongoing valuable content that's going to be relevant to them, then they're going to think, wow, this is a great person. This person has the potential to be a client for life. So look at ways how you can, get a list of everyone in the room. Now, in most cases, if you're not charging a fee and it's a professional organisation, they might actually give you a list of everyone in the room. However, just be really gentle around that one as well, and don't demand it as such, yeah? So that's the first thing. Second thing is this: bring a camera crew along with you. And one of the main reasons why we do suggest for you to bring a camera crew along with you is to capture you in front of a live audience, which is really, really great to produce your demo reel, or what we like to call your sizzle reel, part of your speaker's kit. Or alternatively, you can get, or let's say alternatively, or as well as, you can get video testimonials at the end of your talk. Because when you get video testimonials, as we know, video testimonials are your marketing material. Good you are, but when someone else says how good you are, right after they've heard you, for you, really great way to build your ongoing marketing collateral, yeah? And then the third element is that you can then pitch on stage. So let's say, for example, if you've got a Rotary Club, or if you've got a Lions Club, or maybe you've got a networking function such as a multi-level marketing or whatever it is, you can have the potential to earn more money than actually charging a fee. I'll give you an example. I've spoken for a number of multi-level marketing organisations, and I've obviously then given my large fee, which is a large fee. Hey, look, we can't quite afford that. And then I say, if they then sell some product or services at that event, and they said, yeah, look, that's fine. If you're not charging a fee, absolutely, go for it. So then I obviously then learn how to pitch, learn what is the right product for that audience, and then I then pitch. Bearing in mind, I've walked away with up to $80,000 that I have sold at level marketing events, even though I'm not charged. So for me, it's a free event, and I'm not charged. If you such as get a list of everyone in the room, certainly not always the case, but if you can, it'd be awesome. And then send them relevant value that's going to be valuable to them, and then maybe they might borrow your products, your services, your book, come along to your launch, whatever it is. Number 2, bring a camera crew along so you can film you up on stage, as well as also video testimonials. And then the third one here is specifically about selling products or services online for you to then make money through giving awesome value. So great ways for you to consider if you're not going to charge a fee. Yeah. So now let's look at a fee structure. So specifically, I would suggest you look at different types of fee structures, and these different types of fee structures are going to depend on who exactly is going to be the audience, because this will also depend how much money they have. Yeah? So I would say have a fee structure, have a 1 hour, half-day, full-day fee structure for corporate education. So corporate, full day. Charity, half-day, full day. Suggestion for you is to try not to work outside of those prices either. One of the main reasons is because once you start being a bit flippant with your prices, know that a little bit out of integrity. So you want to make sure that you know your prices and then stand by them. If they can't afford them, afford that price, just give them more value. That's all you need to do. Just give. And I do one-on-one coaching back and be there for and I can be present, or books or some white paper for you, or whatever it is, right? More value compromise on your. If they do then afford the fee, with them, in most cases at these events, they're always going to have a budget, and if they don't have you've got to start thinking, what do they really want their audience to want them to remember in coffee or the way that. Because in most is the tendency at organisations. So start really thinking about what. Specifically the value that you can offer, and make that event organizer or that conference organizer know that you have amazing value. But don't remember, but always remember, value is not value unless it addresses the pain point or problem target audience. Again, value is not value unless it addresses the pain point or problem of your target audience. Other than that, if they then are after, let's say, an ongoing program, let's say it might be a curriculum, or let's say it might be an area where they want you to go deep into that organisation, or deep into that school, or deep into that charitable organisation, such as doing ongoing coaching or ongoing training, or help them develop a curriculum or whatever it is. They're tailored. Please remember, how much time is this going to take? How much time is it going to take back at home developing a curriculum or a white paper or a report? How much time is this facilitating, etc.? And never ever undervalue your time. This is a really, really important one. So my suggestion for you would be to price yourself as a premium product. And that is really about backing yourself. And if you dive deep into that organisation or that charity or that education institution, and you find out exactly what their pay are, and you're willing to go to give them amazing, epic value to their pain points, their problems, then price for me, from my experience, is never going to be an issue. So just be really mindful of that. Cool? Right. So now you're probably wondering what to charge, particularly when it does come to, let's say, for those people out there that are interested in it. So the Australian keynote speaking market. Let's first of all look at 10K and above. $10,000 and above, you're really looking at a celebrity, someone that's regularly on TV, someone that's obviously, you know, come into the country, someone, you know, there's not a lot of speakers in Australia that would be earning 10K or above for a keynote presentation. I would probably say there's only a handful of us here in the country that could charge 10K or above keynote presentation that is not a celebrity. I would say there would be probably only maybe 10, 20 keynote speakers that can charge 10K or above if they are not a celebrity. And really a celebrity is, you know, close to being a bit of a household name. So that is 10K and above. Now we're looking at the 6 to 10K mark. The 6 to 10K mark is really the price point of most professional keynote speakers. Most professional keynote speakers, so these are professionals. These are people that do it for a living, that they don't really have any other major assets or any other major, you know, focus points at all for them. They don't run a company or do keynoting on the side, or they don't, you know, do this, and this is full-time. They would have 6 to 10. Sweet spot for over 10 years. Yeah? Looking at people that are actually noting as pilots and you be your sweet K. Again, just bearing in mind though that a lot of the bureau wanting to work with speaker bureau, if you're from 3, 4, 5, you're a thought and again, we're at the build education training, because if your school below that market can certainly of 2K looking at, or just don't age. Give it to charity. It says for free, guys can actually that doing something for free, they would want to give back. So be mindful of that. Yeah. All right. Last point here is pricing, particularly around the international speaker market. So, guys, these fees that I've just spoken to you about, in most cases, they would be within a 2-hour flight, 2 to 3 hour flight journey from where you are right now. However, international speaker market. So first of all, let's look at Perth and New Zealand. I would say you raise your fee around 20-25% if you're going to Perth or if you are going to New Zealand. And obviously for those people in Perth, if you are obviously listening to this in Perth, this is exactly the same if you're coming across here to the Eastern Seaboard as well. 20-25% more for those 3-hour plus flights, yeah? Now, this is very similar to Asia as well. So in Asia and throughout Asia, most places throughout Asia can't necessarily afford the fees that Europe and USA can afford, and I'll tell you that in a moment. So with your Asia clients, look at a 20-25% fee increase. and they will be happy with that. Indian market are very similar. So the other markets throughout Asia that could afford that would be Mumbai, Singapore, Hong Kong, KL. They would be the main markets in Asia for professional speakers. Now let's look at USA and Europe. USA and Europe, I would suggest if you are commanding anywhere between 6 to 10k fees here in Australia, your fees will be anywhere between 15 to 25,000. If your fees are between 3 to 6k, then your fee would be around 10k for Europe and USA. So in most cases, USA and Europe, you are looking at close to 50% plus on top of your standard fee of what you charge here in Australia. So guys, I'm really hoping that today's conversation around pricing has really added value to you. Why don't you go onto social media and let me know of prices maybe that I've missed, or maybe something that was quite you couldn't quite understand. I'm more than happy to answer any questions at all that you might have. But my suggestion for you right now would be to have a conversation with the person next to you, and have a conversation with them. If you were to charge, what would you charge for a 1 hour, half day, full day? And again, if you were not to charge, if you're looking at a fee, what product would you be selling? Would it be a one-on-one coaching session, or would it be a package or a boot camp, or whatever it might be? So have a conversation with the person next to you, and I'm now going to hand it back through to your Speakers Tribe leaders. Again, my name is Sam Cawthorne, CEO and founder of Speakers Institute, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you at our next Speakers Tribe gathering in your city. See you then. Bye.
Big or small, we all have our own reasons for being. And in life, sometimes we take a long time just to find our life purposes. I personally have 23 years of corporate experience and worked with 5 different industries. And I must say, I great opportunities, and it's all about embracing changes. To be quite honest, I love what I do. But in order to find that passion in life, you need to first be at ease with yourself, understand what motivates us. Job means everything to us. But what is going to be instrumental is having the ability to ace every single job interview that comes along, because that is going to make a difference to our lives. I've personally have adversities, gone through different life crises, and that has given me a lot more grit and resilience to overcome what is meant. And that has helped me a lot in identifying what I really want in life. The hardest choices in life requires the strongest will, and the truth of the matter is that all of us need to look at ourselves in the mirror, internalize team, and what we want to find our being, and what our life purpose. And with that, colors to our life and also make differences to others.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode here at Speakers TV. My name is Sam Cawthorne, and we are super excited about Speakers TV, shows that we bring to you every single weekday as well as single Saturday. If you right now in the chat bar about what was your biggest takeaway from today's session. But also not only that, why don't you join us? So here at Speakers Institute, we do have a number of programs such as our online boot camps or our protege program. At Speakers Tribe here, we're all about running these big large annual conferences every year. There is tribe gather from where you are, your family. Like this page, why don't you join us each day? Why don't you really helping you on this journey to becoming that recognized voice of authority for you to find your message and your stuff there into the world. We are super excited about your journey, so please lean in and join us today. To your success, my name is Sam Cawthorn, and don't forget, the best is yet to come.